We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. By the time you hear about this on the podcast, it will be Wednesday, and we are recording a Tuesday night on a TikTok live. We have a lot of people coming in. We'll be talking about a lot of stuff, a lot of crazy shit going on in the country today. You know I'm from Minnesota, but I'm in Georgia currently. I'm hearing some crazy shit from down in Georgia, and I'm not looking forward to finding out more of what's going on back in the home state. Donald Trump came out yesterday, or today actually, and said that Minnesotans shouldn't fear because he's going to bring retribution and reckoning to Minnesota. Now, I was impressed by that. That's two multi-syllabic words for Donald Trump. Two multi-syllabic words out of a fucking absolute dope. But it is also kind of ominous, you know what I mean? They've already got a ton of people in Minneapolis. And Donald Trump has a hard-on for Minneapolis, in spite of the fact that we know he's impotent anyway. But he's mad at Minnesota. He doesn't like Tim Walz. He doesn't like the fact that we're a blue state. He doesn't like the fact that we're acting badly because he just happened to murder somebody on the streets of Minneapolis. So now he's doing what he always does. When he fucks up, he doubles down, he triples down, he quadruples down. And he always screws up ultimately. Ultimately, he screws up. I'm going to bring in one of our normal panelists and see if he's ready to pop on up. Talking to TJ the plumber. TJ, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Thank you, TJ, for joining me. I kind of got to you late in the evening to join me on this, so I appreciate you making the time. I know you just trekked in from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it takes me about 2 hours to get home.
So now that you got 2 hours of driving under your belt, we're going to put your feet to the fire and we're going to do a fucking live.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, well, good. Hey, you're younger than I am, so you can handle it.
Yeah, well, I'm having a pretty good week this week, so short of having to wake up every day and see whatever fucking nonsense Donald Trump does,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm wondering, did you hear the? Well, no, you sent me the video, so I know you know about this. But Donald Trump went to Detroit. He visited a Ford plant where they make F-150s. He's bopping around, kind of yucking it up with the muckety mucks and trying to be cool and all that shit. But as he's walking by, somebody from the crowd yells out in different terms, because I'm on TikTok now, so I got to be careful. But somebody yelled out, PDF file protector. Donald Trump heard this, and he wasn't happy about it. He wasn't happy about it at all, to be perfectly honest. And he was kind of pointed at the guy, and then he kind of mumbled something. He couldn't hear him because he wasn't on mic. But then as he's walking off, he flips the guy off. Well, hey, stay classy, POTUS.
Right. Behavior becoming of a president. You know how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's flailing around here a little bit too much, and he's making some poor choices. What do you think about that? With all the things he's doing, it seems to me he's flailing. He's looking to try to do anything that will get him some popularity back. When he's going out to events and he's getting booed or heckled or called names and that sort of thing. This has got to get to him because he's a narcissist. So his perception by other people is very important to him.
I watched his press conference in Detroit, and I could only watch about 10 minutes of it because all he did was get up there and lie and gaslight. I mean, it was like, I don't think he said anything in that 10-minute span that I watched it that was true. I have a tough time watching it. You got to imagine that people watching that, he's saying, "Oh, the economy's doing great, and things are becoming affordable. Everybody knows that isn't fucking true. Even if you're as dumb as a Trump will fuck, you have to be able to put two and two together at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I feel embarrassed for him in a way. Like, how can you go out there and just bold faced lie when like maybe he believes his own lies? I don't know, but everything he said was absolute bullshit.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I'm going to pull somebody up here. We got Rebecca with us now, who's a regular on the panel. And so, Rebecca, welcome to the show. I appreciate you showing up. I know you got other shit going on. You're busy too. You have to deal with TJ, so I appreciate you taking the time to pop on in.
She likes me this week.
I like you every week. Sometimes a little less, but every week.
Oh, the joys of being married, huh? Sometimes we like you, sometimes we don't. I tried to pull somebody else up, and I got that same thing where I wasn't able to pull them up. But I'm going to pull this person up and see if she comes up. It looks like she did. ADHD Nikki. That's kind of an interesting name. Nikki, how you doing? What's on your mind?
I did not mean to. I did not mean to. I didn't even know I pressed the button. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. You can still talk if you want to.
Do you have any thoughts? I don't want to put any pressure. I don't want to put any pressure
I have
on
lots
you,
of
Nikki, but
thoughts.
please don't fuck up the show.
Oh
Okay,
no,
go ahead.
no, I have lots of thoughts. I literally just got in here and I was like doing something. What were you guys just talking about exactly? Which
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with me at all.
I am. I've
but,
seen you. Yep.
Okay. Well, it's kind of along the same vein. Trump sucks. Trump is
Yep.
an asshole.
Yep.
The crazy shit that he's doing.
Yep.
We don't have to talk about anything specific. I was talking about something that TJ sent to me, a video of Donald Trump being at a Ford plant and somebody yelling out.
When he flipped him off.
you're-
Yeah.
Yeah, when he flipped him
Yeah.
off. You had to be pretty impressed with POTUS, with that kind of class.
Oh my God, he's a child. He's like a child. It's just unbelievable that that we're here because not only like I just always think about the tan suit with Obama. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
God.
Like couldn't
Yeah.
even wear a tan. People couldn't shut up about it, and now here we are with this criminal, and it's like it doesn't. I can't even. It's not even real life. It doesn't even feel like it's real life.
Well, it is really hypocritical and it is double standards when you think of it this way. This woman who was clearly not a terrorist. We
No.
saw her face, we saw her demeanor. She didn't hit the guy, that was it. But they're saying that a shooting this woman was justified because she was a terrorist. But at the same time, they will cry and whine about Ashley Babbitt, who in fact was a terrorist.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That is a
And,
double
and then
standard.
all the criminals that he's pardoned. Like,
yeah.
Right.
like what? Like really bad people that owe a lot of money to the American people that will never see that money again. Like they will never see that money thanks to
I
Trump
don't-
pardoning him.
I don't want to hear about narco-terrorism ever again after he fucking pardoned that former president of Honduras. I never want to hear about
Absolutely.
narco-terrorism.
Absolutely.
Well, let's look at his track record. He's all about domestic terrorists. Yet he pardoned some 1,000 convicted domestic
1,200.
terrorists.
Yep.
Right. He hates fraud, even though he had been convicted 34 times of fraud and has pardoned many fraudsters since he's been in office. And in terms of drugs, like TJ said, it's all about going to Venezuela and stopping the drugs until he got into Venezuela. Now it's different. But he's also pardoning the former president of Honduras, who may have been the biggest drug trafficker, biggest drug kingpin. So it's impossible to know what he really fucking believes. It's just about if you're his friend or you can slide some money under the table, you get my favor. Other
Yeah,
than
everything
that,
he-
everybody else is criminal.
Everything he does is because it's to like either he owes someone or to get something out of it. Just like how was it Sweden, Switzerland, who gave him like a gold bar, and so he didn't do the tariffs. Like it's just gross. It's disgusting.
Well, it's like what he said to Cuba. He said, you either need to cut a deal or we're going to come in there like we did Venezuela.
I
Well,
just,
that's coercion, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
What kind of deal are we going to cut with Cuba? What does Cuba have to do with anything?
Yeah,
He's
seriously.
basically saying, you give us money, otherwise we're going to come fuck you up. That is so mob mentality. I don't know what the fuck is.
I'm mad at the media too. I'm really mad at the media because they don't. I feel like they are either they're afraid or I don't know. I don't know. They're not doing their job at all. Thank God for independent media because we wouldn't know anything
Yeah.
that was going on.
Well, I think media is as culpable for what's going on now
Absolutely.
as anything.
Absolutely.
If they would have pushed Donald Trump in a corner and made him answer questions as opposed to let him run roughshod in
Yep.
2015, we would have never had this stuff. And now we've got media outlets that tell different stories, so that divides the country. I think the media is going to be changing when we see all these media outlets bending the knee to Donald Trump. They're also losing viewers. CBS
Yeah.
just lost 23%. This isn't happening because they're having bad luck. It's happening because they're choosing the wrong side of history.
Absolutely. I don't watch any of them anymore. I even BBC upset me the other day. And I used to watch
Really?
BBC. Yes, because after he kidnapped Maduro, like the way he was they were talking, it was like they were not, I don't know. It was almost like they were glorifying what he did. And I'm like, what am I watching right now? Like I just felt like, I don't know. It was weird. I was really put off by it. I was like, I don't think I'm going to watch them anymore. Like that was so weird. You know, what's crazy is, as you know about the Katie Johnson case.
Yeah.
Okay. So before he became president again, when he was running,
2014, 2015.
this time,
that's
yeah,
when it
no,
came
this
out.
time before,
Oh, this time.
yes, I sent that. I like, because I'm like, how is this here, and no one's talking about it? Do you know what I mean? Because like any other time in history, they couldn't have that sitting in that document could have been sitting in there, and a president couldn't even run if it was, even if it's just crazy like that. No one brought it up because like it's just, it blows my mind. I don't get it.
Nikki, how old are you?
I'm
approximately?
46.
Okay, so you're about 20 years younger than I am. I will tell you, because of my old age, there have been candidates who dropped out because people found out they were divorced.
Yes,
There was
that's what I'm
another
talking about.
presidential-
That's what
There
I
was another
mean.
there was another presidential candidate that dropped out because there was a picture of a young girl sitting on his lap. I mean, a young woman. She was
Yeah,
legal
yeah.
age. It was just
Yeah.
scandalous. And then of course we had I think it was Sergeant Shriver or somebody, or Sergeant Shriver took over for him. They canceled out a vice presidential candidate because we became aware of the fact that he had visited or was treated by a psychiatrist. Those people had to drop out of the race.
Yes.
Donald Trump can say he's going to grab somebody by the genitals, and we're
It is
cool with that.
It is the most bizarre thing I've ever witnessed. Like, it is just bizarre. Like that I just don't understand it. I will never. I don't get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Nikki, I'm going to drop you off here because
Yeah.
I'm going to get some other people, and I'm sorry to put you in the position where you had nothing to say.
That's okay. Thank
You
you.
did fine. You did fine, and next time, don't worry about it.
Bye, guys.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye, Nikki.
That's ADHD Nikki, and she joins us. And we're going to try to have a bunch of people on the show. We have TJ and Rebecca. We've got some other regulars coming up here too. Well, let's pull up.
Oh, she made it.
Trucker T. Who did?
Oh, never mind.
All right, we've got Trucker T. Hey, Trucker, how you doing? Good to have you on the show.
Hey, I'm good,
I
Mike.
appreciate you stopping in. It's always good to hear your perspective.
Yeah, Becca, how you doing?
I'm good, T. How are you?
Good, and I'll save TJ for last because he always make me look bad.
Yeah, right. I make you look good, motherfucker.
So TJ, I saved you for last because remember on the show the other day, you and I talked about Jerome Powell, and we were talking about why would they go after this dude? Well, looks like that may be the breaking point for them.
Right?
It does.
It's weird that quiet of a man, right, that sits in his shell, doesn't bother anybody, is going to be the one that brings this thing down. I've heard the CEO of, I think it was Wells Fargo today, said, "Hey, nothing good comes after going after that guy. We need to kind of back up
Right.
off of this."
Well, the banks and Wall Street know that's stupid because if they put a Trump sycophant, if they get him and prosecute him or whatever they're trying to do, and in a way to make them leverage him out of there, and they put a Trump loyalist in there, it's really going to fuck the economy up.
Absolutely.
And the banks know that. They're not, Wall Street and the banks know that. They're not stupid. And if anybody thinks that amount of money doesn't have influence over Congress, they're fucking crazy.
Yes, they are.
Well, and over and above the economy, it's making people in the bond market nervous. We've got several foreign countries that have a lot of bonds, trillions of dollars of bonds. And if they
Right.
get scared and they start cashing them in, well, it's fucking over economically.
Sure. China already proved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Thune? I forget his first name. Thune?
John Thune?
John Thune.
Yeah, he even said, "Hey, listen, you better have some solid evidence if you're throwing that word around, going after this guy." So it's breaking. That dam is breaking, and I love it.
You know what I find interesting? You said something, Trucker, about the Republicans. I've always thought there's going to be a red line where they're going to push back and stop Donald Trump. Never in my wildest dreams did I think it would take this long. So I'm thinking about all the things going on, deporting people, going in and raiding towns and houses and that sort of stuff, gathering up citizens and children, deporting them and detaining them. That wasn't the red line. Putting tariffs on everything and crashing the economy. That wasn't a red line. Killing people in the streets of our cities. That wasn't even a red line. But as soon as you start fucking around with the Fed, oh boy.
Right.
Now there's
Well,
the red line. Because the oligarchs are going to be affected by this shit.
Right. It's their money. You know, the billionaire class knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's not going to be good for them or us or for anybody at this point. It's going to be fucking disastrous. And so now the Republicans are starting to push back on Donald Trump. Is this the point where things really go south for Donald Trump and the Republicans completely walk away from him? Or does he still have some sway for a while?
You know, I think his sway is wavering. It's too much going on at once. I mean, they tried this tactic by, getting message out through a fire hose, but it's just not.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even working for them. Like, they can't
No.
even control or keep up with the narrative at this point.
No,
Right.
they like Steve Bannon said they're gonna flood the field or whatever, with all this shit, but it's blowing up in their face because they can't control any of it.
Exactly. And I think they just got
Yeah.
a little bit too reckless.
Right.
And then now for Bannon to say he's running for president, or
Oh my God.
exploratory committee he's put together. Yeah, it's just, it's weird and it's wacky.
When I heard Bannon is going to run for president, it made me understand a question I have for a lot of people I talk to on the podcast. All of us with reasonable minds, average or above intelligence, understand that the Republicans are doing disastrous things to themselves because when it comes to the election, they're destroying themselves. And I've talked to some people and I said, do they just not care or do they think they're winning? And most people I've asked that question, they say they think they're winning. They think they're winning this. And if Steve Bannon can actually believe that he has a shot to get the nomination, let alone being elected president, We got some delusional motherfuckers. Steve Bannon running for president is akin to Mike Lindell running for governor of Minnesota, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's a joke. I mean, it's a bad one at that.
Well, TJ said it best. A ham sandwich would have a better chance of winning than.
I did say that, and I'm right. I mean, come on now, Steve
when
Bannon.
when I
He's
heard
a human manifestation of herpes.
when I heard Steve Bannon was talking about running, it just made me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
He needs to start with taking a shower. That's like a real good
Yeah, right.
start right there.
Just the fact that we
Yeah.
might have to see like more of him on TV or like wherever is like
Disgusting.
makes me nauseous.
This guy seems like, just looking at him, it reminds me of something my granddaughter told me one time. I've told this story before, but I think of him every time I think of this story. My granddaughter gives me shit all the time, and she's getting ready to leave, and she's going around the house, hugs my wife, hugs my son, her uncle, and then she hugs me, and she stepped back and she goes, "Grandpa, you smell like meat." What kind of meat, motherfucker?
Well, you know what?
But I think Steve Bannon smells like wiener water.
Ew.
Yeah, hot dog water. You know what? Close your eyes and visualize Steve Bannon's face. Now think of Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
They have the same face.
Yeah.
People
you're-
have asked me, why don't you run for elected office? And I said, well, I don't really want to. I'm too fucking lazy. I don't tolerate much, and I got a couple skeletons. Can you imagine the skeletons that Steve Bannon's going to have coming out
Oh,
of the
geez.
fucking closet?
God, yeah, he's got.
Well,
a ton.
Epstein Island is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
The oil executive says that Trump smelled like roast beef. That was weird. So,
That's a little weird. That's yeah.
Roast beef
tell
and a
you what.
shitty diaper.
Yeah, I tell you, if Donald Trump smells like roast beef, that's a win for him, because I'm afraid to imagine what the hell he smells like. We've got somebody that's been on Truckers Live, and she joins us now. Matrix, always good to hear from you. You know your shit, and we love to hear you talk your shit. To be
Hello,
crude about
guys.
it.
Good evening. Just wanted to chime in, not with Steve Bannon. The Jabba the Hutt imagery really messed me up. Okay, just and the hot
Am
dog.
I
one.
wrong?
Oh,
Am I
but
wrong?
no, you're not. That's the really sad part. I mean, even the stomach imagery is there. The face and
Yeah.
the jowls, and now you go down to oh God, no.
It's disgusting.
Oh, okay. But I did want to point out with regards to Powell, if you guys can correct me, Trump also has bonds, which that's why I'm thinking he's trying to force Powell to lower the interest rate so he can sell off those bonds. And that I mean that could be really, really trying to. It's far-fetched, but that's the only thing he's probably trying to do that to get extra money. I mean, the man's already made $5 billion, and we're not even a year in.
Matrix, I want to ask you a question, because I think people misread Donald Trump's strategy, knowing Donald Trump and knowing narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump's goal is not to prosecute Jerome Powell.
No.
Donald Trump's goal was not to bomb Venezuela or to take over Cuba. This is a bully tactic, a threat. And Donald Trump, when they don't follow up or react to the threat, he doubles down. He
But if
triples
they
down.
push back, it's even worse.
If they push back.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is he doesn't want to do it necessarily, but nobody respects this motherfucker, so he always has to go to the nth degree to carry out his threat. I mean, the power of a threat is strongest before you use it. And I think that's what he's intending to do, but it just shows how poorly he thinks this stuff out, and he ends up having to do the one thing he was hoping to avoid because the people didn't bend to him.
Hmm. But here's my, and you guys can correct me. What logic would it be for the Fed chair to even lower the interest rate? Forgive me, but myself, I'm a younger Gen Xer, and the millennials that are right behind me, it still wouldn't help us purchase a home. So I still don't understand. Right now, the Fed chair has stable, somewhat trying to keep the economy stable. Why
Right.
even push it?
Well, Matrix. Okay, so Trump is, I don't know, 79 years old, right? And
Yeah.
he still has that mentality that, the old school way of doing things. He doesn't look at the totality of it. He's thinking, hey, if the interest rates are high, nobody's buying. So why don't I just drop it 2 points and everybody will buy it? What he doesn't understand, like all the stuff in the middle of it. You know what I mean?
The feds are not creating homes. You've got what is it, BlackRock, that's buying
Yeah.
up a lot of homes and trying to resell them back on the market. You've even got Bank of America even doing that craziness.
Exactly.
So
Right.
that's still not going to help, the average Joe like myself turn around and go, hey, this is a good time to put 10 to 20 grand down in escrow for a home. It,
Exactly.
I don't see the logic with going after this man. He's due to get out he's due to leave this April or May, something to that effect. So why are we
May.
trying to push
In
for
May.
an indictment on this? It doesn't make any. I mean, yes, he's actually played chess with Trump and actually put in people for the next 5 years. Kudos to him. But
Good.
I'm.
But as a narcissist,
Hmm.
and just how we know Donald Trump is, if I called Donald Trump a poopy butt, however accurate that might be,
This is
he
true.
would have to come back with something. He always has to strike back. He also
Oh,
always has to exact revenge because that's how his simple mind works. It's like a child, like you said. If I call him a name, he's got to call me a name. And if I call him another name, he's got to call me another name. And Powell pushed back against him, made
hmm.
him look stupid. You might remember when they were over, he was
Yes,
talking about
that
the
third
building
building, which
and
is
the
already
contracts.
built. Yes.
And he said that was 5 years ago. He goes,
Hmm.
yeah, okay, but he didn't have an answer for it. Powell embarrassed him, just like Obama embarrassed him, just like Bill Clinton embarrassed him, just like Mueller
Hmm.
and James Comey. It's all about getting revenge against people who made him look stupid. Where he's missing the point is each and every one of those times it was in fact Donald Trump who made himself look stupid.
Hell, look at the what you call it, the person that called him a pedophile protector today.
Yeah, you flipped
That
him
actually
off.
gave me flipped him
I
off
think
and told him F you.
I
Someone,
think it was a United Auto Worker
someone,
who did
someone
that.
said that that person got suspended. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't know. I
I
actually
think it was
giggled when
Lisa D that said that.
WTOP brought it
Well,
up.
I think that there'll be a grievance about that.
Yeah, I would have
Hmm.
taken a suspension for that.
I would tell you, if I was the one that called that out on Donald Trump and he flipped me off, I would wear that as a badge of honor. I would
Yep.
put it in my bio. I would be so proud of that
I'd be
that
selling
I can't
T-shirts.
imagine.
Hell yeah, I'll be selling
Yeah, no
t-shirts
shit.
with that little finger he had sticking out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He has
Yeah, with the
Burger King hands. You ever notice that? Like, you ever see the Burger King commercials where the Burger King holds that Whopper, but his hands are tiny? It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
What's
Gotta
that?
go back
What's
and look
that
at those
thing about the
things.
size of your hands and the size of your
Hey,
other
the size
thing?
of your feet, yeah. The
Yeah.
size of your hands and size of your, well, we know both of those are small, so
Man,
ah.
truckers' hands aren't that small. Come on now.
Stop
Yeah.
it. This is a political show,
Yeah.
Mr. Plummer.
But I also wanted to what do you call it? You guys were okay, it was the Fed chair. What was the topic prior to that? Um
Well, we're talking about Steve Bannon.
oh
Matrix. We're
yeah,
talking about anything really. There's no limitations.
okay. At this point in time, guys, I'm so over ICE. It's ridiculous. We had
Yeah.
we had protests here in DC uh tonight to be exact. Um yeah, I think I'm really over the nonsense, especially the videos that come up after the young lady got shot with ICE, with a few ICE agents telling people, "Oh, you see what happened to that, to that person." It's like, seriously? Did you just threaten? Where are we going
Yeah.
with this?
Well, you know what's interesting, Matrix, is oh, I'm in Georgia right now, in Savannah,
Hmm.
Georgia, but I live in Minnesota, and we're hearing ICE is ramping up and ICE is going to doors, which is highly illegal, highly unconstitutional.
Hmm.
But apparently, the Republicans, the one group of people that could control this, refused to do it. Um, but we know with this shooting of Renee Good, we know for a fact that the FBI and the DOJ is going to do nothing about it. They don't think it justifies an investigation. What's
Right, correct.
ironic is
That's what
the guy who
Kumail
did the
said.
shooting, the guy who did the shooting, though, was picked up by ICE agents. They took
Hmm.
stuff out of his house in Chaska, which is about 10 miles from where I live, and they spirited him away to some safe house because he's a terrified little bitch. So if he was innocent, I don't know why he's running and hiding. You would think he'd want to stand up and be proud and maybe do interviews as to why he chose to do this.
Wouldn't you? I
Now,
mean, that would be the logical thing.
well, especially if you're a tough guy, Trump-a-fuck. I mean, why not be proud of it? But what's interesting, and people may not know, is that Keith Ellison is the Attorney General of Minnesota.
Hmm.
And he says they're going to do an investigation on him, whether Donald Trump likes it or not. And he pointed something out very interesting. He said, there is no statute of limitation on murder, and Donald Trump's not going to be here forever.
Oh, I thought
So,
there was.
not on murder, no. There's
Oh,
no statute of limitation.
No.
okay.
Certainly not in
Absolutely
Minnesota.
not.
So he's going
Well,
to have
here's
his day
okay.
in court.
Speaking of Minnesota, and you can correct me. Isn't there a some type of law or ruling where it says that if you see someone injured, you have to help them, or at least try and get them some type of help?
Good Samaritan.
That is in the
Yes.
police, the law enforcement oath, where you have to, even if you shoot somebody, you have to administer some aid.
So
And
why
they,
didn't
of
they
course, not
allow that
only didn't do
doctor?
that, they stopped other people from doing it.
Right. That's why I'm like, why did they not allow the doctor at least to see if her pulse was there? At least to try. I mean, 15 minutes is a long time.
Well, there was an EMT that I talked to, and they said that isn't that crazy because they created a crime scene, which is ironic because they said it was a justified shoot, but they
Hmm.
cordoned off a crime scene. What was the crime other than shooting this woman? Um, but apparently, when they cordon off a crime scene, then they might not let people from the crowd that claim to be doctors in. But nonetheless, when an ambulance came up, they slowed it down, and they how
They
they
didn't even
dealt with
allow
this
it
woman.
through. They didn't even
They didn't
allow the
have a
ambulance.
stretcher.
Right.
They didn't
They
have a
didn't
stretcher. They
even.
grabbed her under her arms and dragged her out
Hmm.
of the fucking car.
Right.
Yeah, but
And that
if
could have
you can
moved the
show some
bullet.
if you can show some medical credentials, like there should be no reason why a doctor in that situation shouldn't be allowed to get through.
Well, that was the doctor that was at the side. That was on the other side of the car. He was flashing
Hmm.
his badge and like, I'm a doctor.
And they said, we don't care. We have our own medical professionals here.
But- um,
Well,
Yeah,
the,
that
the, the,
wasn't true.
what they did, what they meant to accomplish, they accomplished. It wasn't about a cop or an ICE agent getting hit. The next day or the day after, there was a video of a woman in a car, not unlike Renee Good,
mhm.
and she was kind of talking back to the ICE agent. And the ICE agent says, "You got to keep moving. You can't keep following us. You can get yourself in trouble. You can't do that." And then they cut away to another officer, ICE officer, and says, "After what's happened the last couple of days, haven't you learned your lesson?" And
Yes.
that's a very poignant comment because that means you're telling us that you're shooting people in the streets in order to teach us a lesson.
It's a threat. It's a
It's a
threat.
It's
threat.
a fucking
That's a
threat.
threat.
It's a
That
fucking
is the
threat.
threat.
That's what it is.
Well, at some point they're going to learn their lesson.
Yep. They also called her a LB, right? They said,
Yeah.
didn't you see what happened to that LB? The
That
same
was
thing
in
can
the
happen
other
to you.
video. Yes, that was in
Because
the other
you,
video.
yeah, yeah. It's and
So is that
and I
a dog?
saw
That's a bona fide dog whistle.
absolutely. And we had there's another video that's circulating. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's here or was in Minnesota, and it was a minister, a pastor, a man of the cloth, if you will. And ICE came up to him and said, "Are you afraid?" And he goes, "I'm not afraid." He said, "What?" He says, "I'm not afraid." So they grabbed him, they cuffed him,
Hmm.
they put him in the car, and they said, "Are you afraid now?" And he said, "Still not afraid." And they said, this is what they said to him. This is what the minister said. They said to him, "Well, you're white anyway. It wouldn't be any fun." And then they let him go. I mean,
Okay.
there's no hiding why they're doing it. It's to threaten, it's to intimidate, it's racist from top to bottom. And they don't have a problem owning up to it.
Okay. Okay. That makes even more sense now that I saw that one video, and I thought I was seeing things, but it's apparent that an ICE agent went into a porta potty with a shackled woman. So why did you go in the porta potty? Now that makes a lot, that actually gives credence to it. Wow. Okay. God
Well,
knows
that's
what
what
happened to that poor girl.
Donald Trump doesn't like Tim Walz. He doesn't like what's going on in Minnesota. We talked about, he's worried about fraud that happened 7 years ago. Ironic coming from a man who's been convicted 34 times of fraud. But
Okay.
nonetheless, he has all the excuses. And what he's trying to do is intimidate Minnesota. And a lot of people give Tim Walz and Mayor Fry a lot of credit for speaking back and pushing back. Mayor Fry says, "Get the fuck out of our town." Tim Walz says something similar, and he says he's got the National Guard on standby. Now, I like Mayor Fry. He's not my mayor. I don't live in Minneapolis. I like Governor Walz. But here's my point when it comes to Walz and Fry and every other fucking Democrat. It's great that you're speaking out. When are you going to do something about it? Tim Walz could win the presidency if he brought the National Guard in and said, "Push those motherfuckers out." Everybody in this country would love Tim Walz. He would have no problem getting elected president in 2028. But that's the problem. Everybody's so pansy ass about this. Oh, we're going to get tough, but they never do it.
Playing it safe.
Playing it safe. This is not the time to play it safe after fucking 10 years of this bullshit. Time to fight.
Ugh.
Well, I tell you what, after that 17-year-old boy got his face rearranged, I definitely say it's time to fight because that was just that got to me. When I saw that, video, they chased him into Target. They grabbed him. He's telling them, "Hey, I'm a citizen. I got a passport. We don't care." They take him, rough him up in the car, drop him off 8 blocks at Walmart, slams his face on the ground. And then when you see his whole face, and it's like, what is the purpose of that? And no one has done anything about it. I don't get it.
Well, I think Donald Trump and the Republicans misunderstand Minnesota, having grown up there. They think it's flyover country, that it's a blue state, that they're passive, that they're not going to do anything. They're just going to fold up and die with ICE agents coming in. And I think you're seeing by way of the protest, that's not the case. And I will just say this. If you think all Minnesotans are passive and weak and will let you run over the top of them, I'll remind you, I was born and raised in Minnesota, 3rd generation United States, been in Minnesota. There's a lot of motherfuckers like me out there that are younger and maybe a little more angry at this point. people in Minnesota are only going to take so much. They're already pushing back, but if you start kicking in doors and killing people on the streets, it's going to get very fucking ugly.
Hmm.
And the thing is, people say, well, that's exactly what he wants because he can institute martial law. Well, it didn't work well in South Korea. And when you've got tens of thousands, maybe millions of people, try to invoke martial law. It ain't going to
That's just
work.
it. Rational, I would love to say I agree with you with that, but there's too much complacency.
Well, that's true. And that is the one fear that people will back off and they're complacent about it. But I will tell you this, Matrix, there is complacency until you think you and your family are in danger and there's no other way out. You can push people, and even the most meek person, if you push them into the corner and they think their life's at risk here,
Oh, they'll come up.
everybody's going to fucking fight. Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
Can I,
fight.
can I tell you a fun fact about Pennsylvania?
Go ahead.
Sure.
In Pennsylvania, we have a castle doctrine. Okay? Do you guys know what that is?
Not
Yeah,
for
I
me.
do. If someone comes
castle.
into your house,
Oh, if is
Yes.
it in the house or over the threshold?
Well, no, even outside of your house.
Oh,
And so in
really?
Pennsylvania, the castle doctrine says that anyone's allowed to use reasonable force, including deadly force, to defend themselves in their homes, occupied vehicles, and workplaces without a duty to retreat. So I almost wonder, like, they're not really pulling a lot of shit in Pennsylvania, because being in your vehicle and if someone attacks you, you
hmm
have the right under the castle doctrine to defend yourself with deadly force. So I
Right.
almost wonder if that's why they're not trying to pull any of that. Because if you were a citizen and you're being assaulted by an ICE officer unlawfully, you could use the castle doctrine against them.
Well, and I think we
Because
do have that in Minnesota, or at least some variation of that. And the fact of the matter is, it's legitimate because most of these people aren't wearing uniforms. They aren't identifying themselves. They're just bum rushing in on stuff. And honestly, if I have that opportunity and I'm in my house and some guys with mask on kick on my door, I feel like I have that opportunity to protect myself. And if it's deadly force, it's deadly fucking force.
right. Yeah, Will says let him come to Philly. He's right about that. They're not going to go into East Philadelphia. I guarantee you that.
They're not.
No.
Oh no, they're not.
Greenland says, hey, we're going to shoot first and ask questions later.
Well,
So I'll take the same
beautiful
thing.
part about Greenland is what he's not seeing. You try and do that with what you try to do to Venezuela to Greenland. They've got France, they've got my country, they've got several
Yeah.
other EUs that will run up there and say, okay, let's have at it.
Well, and they've already said that they're talking about putting NATO and other troops in Greenland just to be a stumbling block. Donald Trump said he was going to pay them off first, and he said we could do it the easy way or the hard way. And the thing about it is if he does this, it's well-known fact that might disintegrate NATO.
Mm-hmm.
And people have to understand that there's only one person other than Donald Trump that doesn't like NATO. Everybody else likes NATO. That one person is Vladimir Putin. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason Vladimir Putin doesn't like it is because NATO was formed specifically to protect them all from Vladimir Putin. So Donald Trump is taking his cues from Vladimir Putin. Now he doesn't like NATO, and he's just doing Donald Trump's bidding. Donald Trump can keep saying, Russia, 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 it was a hoax. It's not a fucking hoax. The strings are being pulled by Vladimir Putin and other people with Donald Trump, and he's just doing whatever he thinks benefits him.
So, Mike, speaking of Vladimir, what do you think he is today?
Vladimir's probably somewhere in Central Bay.
No, I can tell you exactly where he is. He met, I don't want to say the guy's name, but he met in North Korea on the red carpet today, getting off his plane.
Wow. Wow.
Met little one?
Yep. And little one was standing there to greet him all by himself. He had two guys flanked to the right of him. And I was surprised that there was a handshake and two back pats.
Oh, that's
You
lovely.
you have
You're
to
talking-
remember little one is just as evil. Look what he did to his older stepbrother.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to say his name. Get this live taken down.
Well, I still think we're dealing with North Korea, and if we want to go up against them with the little guy, I think you could say his name, but we all know who he is. I think all we do is go to the palace or wherever he lives. We airdrop tons and tons of little Debbies, and that fucker will die of diabetes.
Oh, not the hostess cakes.
Well,
Okay.
Oh no, no,
we
those
do
are
it.
expensive. We'll get the little Debbies.
Yeah, those are expensive, and they need to make a pit stop over in Mar-a-Lago and drop off some Big Macs on the way.
Yes.
Yeah, no shit. Do your work. Matrix, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm going to get
Thank
some
you
other people
guys.
up
Have a
here.
great evening.
You too. It's always great to hear from you, and don't hesitate to come back.
Will
Hi,
do.
Matrix.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll see who else is out there. Okay. We got somebody. Well, he's not coming up. This is weird. I go to some people and I try to pull them up, and they don't come up. Let's go to Anya. Anya, how are you doing? What's on your mind? Hello, Anya. Anya, are you there? Apparently she's not there.
Grandpa
You've got
Danny's in the box. Is he
yeah,
not there?
yeah. Grandpa Danny's in the box next to me.
Yeah, I know. I hit him and nothing happened. I'll try it again.
No, he's already up here.
No, he's up here.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, Grandpa, how you
Yeah,
doing?
he's up here.
How you young
Uh,
people doing?
young people. How old are you, Grandpa?
75.
Okay. I'm 65, so I guess I am younger than you. We
Yeah.
young people are doing very well, as a matter of fact. I'm second oldest here, though, by a
I
long shot.
know. I know. And Trucker T is not far behind yet. And TJ's a kid. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Been
mentally
old.
he's decrepit.
That's true. That's true. It's nice to be up here with all my friends. I've been listening to the conversation. You know what happened to that? What's going on in Minnesota and Minneapolis there and all that? Uh, you know, I think that I can fairly say that Minnesota is a Second Amendment state. Uh, they believe in doing that. But where are those people that even the Republicans are proud of "Don't Tread on Me"
Yeah.
with their that it was all about tyranny. Now, what is this going on? But nothing but tyranny.
That's absolutely tyranny. Grandpa, I want to tell you one story. It's a hilarious story. It's kind of dark, but when you bring up Don't Tread on Me, I've been bringing this up since 2021. Did you know on the Insurrection Day, when
Correct.
the red meat eating, mouth breathing, stupid motherfuckers ran up against and crashed into the U.S. Capitol, there was a woman who was carrying a sign that said, "Don't tread on me." Okay. And she's going at the building like everybody else, but then somebody fired a shot, maybe the Ashley Babbitt thing. And then everybody starts taking off away from the Capitol. This woman with the flag that says, "Don't tread on me," falls to the ground and she gets trampled to death. Isn't that a sweet story? Isn't that
Yes,
karma at its fucking best?
absolutely. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. We want to hear you.
When that happened, that poor girl, I thought about my own daughter, and not daughter but granddaughter, and 'cause I got great grandkids I got one that's 18. But
Wow.
when I thought about that girl and what she was going through, and having her wife with her in the car and a dog in the back, and to have that police officer, and I think that my good friend Trucker T already mentioned it, to call her a bitch.
And that,
What kind of human being says that, especially a supposed to be a law enforcement officer, say such a thing?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
and number two, and I saw it on the. They were stopping the ambulance from coming in. They were
Yeah,
stopping the
absolutely.
doctor to render aid. You know, and they literally unalived her even before, even after the rounds hit the girl, and
Yeah.
it's despicable. And I mean, I served 22 years in the army. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I've been poo-pooed twice myself, and I for them to do stuff like that and to sit there, I even rendered the enemy aid sometimes. Especially when I wanted to take him as a prisoner to get information from him. But they didn't even
Right.
try to help that girl. You
No,
know,
no. I mean, I don't know if the help would have done any good when you shoot somebody in the face,
probably
but
not.
you should at least make that effort. I'm going to tell all you guys, Grandpa and Trucker and TJ, I don't know if you heard this story, but did you know that Renee Good's father is a Trump humping piece of shit?
I did
I
And
not.
wouldn't be
clearly,
surprised.
yeah, he
No.
is. The new anchor on CBS apparently had a conversation with him, and he's obviously very upset. He's not only upset that his daughter died, that it was done by somebody he supports, Donald Trump and MAGA and all that stuff. And this reporter brought it up to Donald Trump in an interview. Did you know her father was a MAGA supporter? Well, that's great. That's great. And you killed your administration killed his daughter, and obviously he's confused and upset about it. So what Donald Trump went off on and started telling more lies and talking about how bad this woman is, even though there's nothing to verify any of that. This guy couldn't even have compassion for a father who lost his daughter, a father that fucking supported him. That's the kind of worthless piece of shit that Donald Trump is. And this is one of the times when the Trump fucked around and found out. I feel a little empathy.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I feel sorry for the family. I feel sorry for her kids and all that.
Oh,
You wouldn't
absolutely.
be a decent human being if you didn't show any compassion. But I
Yeah.
have no compassion over that ICE agent. I can tell you that I have none. That man needs to be arrested and put in jail and stay there until this investigation's over with. Even though they cleared it, they're saying it was a act of terrorism. They were trying to unalive the agent, which is a bunch of bullshit. You know, it's just unfortunate, and have the state be held back from investigating it, and the feds taking over it was a crock of bullshit. The rule of law is done in this country, I'm afraid.
Well, it does seem like that. I don't know if you heard earlier, I was talking about what Keith Ellison said. He's the Attorney General of Minnesota. In spite of the fact that they're keeping all the evidence, the physical evidence from the state of Minnesota, I believe the state of
Right.
Minnesota and Hennepin County are still doing an investigation, and they're getting everybody's videos and those sorts of things pulled together. And
Absolutely.
Ellison, I need to repeat this because I think people need to hear it. Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota, said, you have to understand there is no statute of limitations on murder, and Donald Trump
That's
isn't going to
correct.
be here forever. So this guy will ultimately probably see trial unless he leaves the country or something, and he's already fucking hiding, so who knows?
Well, yeah, and you're right. There is no statute of limitation when it comes to murder in any state. There is no
No.
statute of limitation. So I hope that they get him. I really do. I hope that this one day will help. But again, like you said, if Governor Walz, and I voted for him and Kamala in the last election, but if he would get the National Guard out, just like he said, and push these suckers out of the state, and I mean literally push them out of the state, kick them out of the state, he could be elected in 2028, hands down.
That's
I
exactly
have to
what I
agree with
said.
you.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I feel. And people are all excited about Fry and Walls talking tough to Donald Trump. I'm done with the talking. We've done talking for 10 years.
Right.
Now you got to do something. You got to do something because people are being killed in the streets. Government's job number one is to protect its citizens. And
Right.
the citizens are not being protected right now by the state or by the federal government. And that is their primary job. And this is what's so frustrating. You know, you got Schumer talking about, I'm going to write a strong letter, or Hakeem Jeffries yelling about something. I'm tired of hearing the talk. Now is the time to act, to actually
Right.
do something to stop the atrocities.
Absolutely. Action speaks louder than words, and they need to get off their ass and do their job. That's what we elected them for, and that's why they're there to do that job. And if they don't do it, then it's time to replace every single swinging dick in the goddamn Congress,
I
and
couldn't
and
agree
those
with you
without.
more.
Yeah.
And we may have already got rid of the biggest swinging dick in Congress because Marjorie Taylor Greene retired. So that's good.
Yeah, that was a good thing. That's a start.
I heard there's a
It's
room.
horrible.
Hey, I
Go
heard there's a
ahead.
room in the basement where a lot of that swinging goes on in the White House.
I
Yeah,
believe that.
that's another story we're going to have to talk about because I got people bugging me about it. Grandpa, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I
Please feel
do.
free to come on anytime.
Thanks,
I do
Danny.
appreciate. Yeah, I do. Rebecca, thank you for having me on. TJ, it's always a pleasure seeing you.
Great to
And
see you too.
Trekker T, he knows I'm on It's Alive often when I'm not doing mine because I do mine 3 days a week. But I'm a mod for Trekker. So thanks a lot there, Mike. I appreciate you having me up. I hope you have a great evening. I hope you have a great show. And if you can't be good, be careful.
Thanks, Todd.
Grandpa, what's your full handle?
I'm Grandpa Danny.
Grandpa Danny. Okay, for all
Yeah.
those people listening to the live, you just heard Grandpa Danny. If you like him as much as we do, go follow Grandpa Danny. Join him in his lives. He's got a lot of good things and experience to talk about, and we need as many people talking as possible. So all of you in the live right now, make sure you check out Grandpa Danny and on TikTok and follow him, and Trucker T for that matter. Follow
Absolutely.
Trucker T
Trekker
too.
T. You bet.
Uh,
Thank you.
all right, thank you, Grandpa Danny. I
I have a
appreciate it.
question.
Yeah.
Is her father, I'm assuming, is the same guy who's trying to take the 6-year-old away from the wife?
I assume that's the case. And since the wife isn't a blood relative, he may have some success with
Right,
that.
which I
But
understand, but it just seems tragic.
but
now.
I would hope that after this event, Grandpa thinks a little differently than he has up to this point. Hopefully, the spell has been broken, and he's going to walk away from the cult and raise this kid to be a better person than he has been.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
I agree.
Do
I
you think
agree.
he's doing it as a cash grab? I hate to think that way, but
No, I'm a grandpa. We got the other grandpa here.
yeah.
If my grandkids were in a desperate situation and in need, I'd be there as quickly as possible. I'd like to give him enough credit to think that he just cares enough for his grandkids that he wants to be there for them. Now that the grandson, is a fucking orphan,
Right.
thanks to
I
ICE.
hope that's what it is. I really do.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the guy. He voted for Donald Trump, so he's a dumbass. But hopefully he can learn a lesson. Grandpa Daddy, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on, and please come back.
And thank you for the PSA. I really greatly appreciate it.
No problem at all. I'm going to follow you. So if I can follow you, everybody can fucking follow you. Let's see what else we got out there. We got the analytical Iowan out here, Eric. Eric may be on the podcast tomorrow, so we'll see what happens, Eric. But Eric, how you doing? You keeping up with everything? You getting all the details down?
I just got a chance to start looking at stuff. I haven't seen much yet, so I'm going to be digging into it here in just a little bit.
What do you think about what's going on in Minneapolis with all the kicking indoors and shooting people in the streets? You're in Iowa, so you're just south of Minnesota. Your thoughts about that?
Well, I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not.
Yeah.
These ICE agents, most of them poorly trained. They're the Gravy SEALs, the MEAL Team 6. That's why you haven't seen the 3%ers, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers. You haven't seen them anymore. They got roped into ICE. They think they know what the fuck they're doing. They don't. And they're so brave, to lack of a better word, to do all this because they think they've got the trifecta, that Donald Trump is going to save their ass, and that they legitimately believe, kind of like what happened in 1930s Germany, that their run is going to last forever, that they're going to be untouchable. They can't see past the end of their nose and go, he may be gone one day. And there's no statute of limitations for a lot of the bullshit we're doing. We could face some very serious penalties. They think they're protected and they're safe, and that's the only reason they're doing half of what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. I'm going to pull somebody else up who's a regular because I know he was out doing some activism. I'm talking about Howard Paulson. If he's coming up here, I'm not seeing him come up. I don't. Fucking TikTok! I swear to God, they are messing with me here.
Speaking of
You're
that,
not normal.
that podcast with him and Vanessa was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howard does a great job, and Vanessa's a very, very bright lady. I was happy to have them both on the show, and Vanessa was a little nervous about it at first, but I think she warmed up to it. She'll probably be ready to come back at some point in the not too distant future. So we're looking forward to that. I'm going to pull up again. Nothing comes up. I hit these people. For those of you that are in the audience that want to come up, and I hit you, and then nothing happens. It's honestly nothing I'm doing here. It's all TikTok, and TikTok can fuck off sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna pull up Adam. Adam is somebody who's been on with some regularity. This motherfucker's in every comment of every video I ever do. I appreciate it, Adam. How you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, Adam.
I look for you every day.
Yeah, I know
I
you
look
do.
for your stuff every day, and I'm like, it's noon, and it's like 11 o'clock your time. I'm like, God, he's lazy. Get out of bed, do something. And then at like 3 o'clock, I'll look again, and there's a comment, so I always have something to say. I'm
Yes, you do.
extremely opinionated, and for those that don't like opinionated people, you won't like me.
Well, if they don't like opinionated people, they wouldn't be in this live because I have an opinion or
Exactly.
two that I'm not afraid to talk about. What are you thinking about, Adam?
Well, I made a comment. I made a couple of comments tonight. The knees on the neck thing is back in the news. I heard that.
I saw that in Minneapolis. An ICE agent put a knee on the neck of one of the people they were rounding up. That's problematic. Maybe he doesn't understand what's going on, but people are going to be very sensitive to that.
One day he's gonna have a knee on his neck, and he'll figure it out real quick.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Philadelphia cops, I guess the police chief of Philadelphia is also the sheriff, because I think the city is a county. And
Oh, okay.
she flat out said, if you bring your ice, we're gonna lock them all up. I think that's pretty close to a quote.
It was the
Yeah, I
district
heard that.
We're gonna
attorney.
lock them up.
It was the district attorney that said that.
No,
was
the
Well,
sheriff.
it was the district attorney, the
the
sheriff
chief.
and the district attorney both
Yes.
said it. Yeah.
And also, not to cut you off, Mike, but ICE put out a comment about that today and says she needs to stay in her lane, and they would love to see her try it.
I would love to see her try it. Let's go to Philly. Come on, Ice. Head over to Philly. They're taunting your ass. Yeah, Philly's a different world. You're going to see some real problems in the streets. I mean, I'm afraid to go to a game when a football game when Philadelphia's playing. I can't imagine knocking down doors and dragging people out of Philly. It's just not going to go well.
They don't want that smoke. I'm telling you right now.
No, definitely.
Philly's not going to the Super Bowl because the Patriots are.
I don't even like to go to Philly because it's terrifying. So I can imagine if you're, an ice subversive.
Where do you live, Adam?
I'm down in Florida, but I grew up about 10 minutes from Foxborough Stadium.
Oh, really? Okay. And you're in Florida now?
I've been here for 30 years and I hate it.
I was going to say, talk about a terrifying state. People have said to me that, we bought this place in Savannah. And I go, why didn't you buy someplace in Florida like everybody else? Because it's fucking Florida. What other than Florida's a beautiful state, but the government in that state have fucked things up. The insurance is high. It's crazy. How is it that you've stayed down there for 30 years?
No choice.
Really?
Put it this way.
You got an ankle bracelet?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're married.
A little bit of a guilty conscience, I guess. I was in the Carolinas. The economy crashed. Dad had Alzheimer's, getting bad. So I came home to help take care of him. And I never left because now I got Mom. So,
Okay.
I can't leave. Where am I going to go? And how am I going to get there? And what money is going to put me there?
Right. Plus you got your mom.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't envy you. I used to love Florida, and watching what's going on down there just upsets me because it is such a great place, and what they're doing to it is appalling.
Where in Florida do you live, Adam?
I live in Estero, which is basically, it's between Bonita Beach and Fort Myers Beach where Ian hit. So I'm on the southwest coast. I'm way south. It takes me 2.5 hours to drive to Tampa. It takes me an hour and a half to get to Boca Raton.
Wow.
Well, yeah, maybe 2 hours to get to Boca Raton. But I'm in deep red conservative money, and I hate
with all that deep redness there? Deep redness, not unlike Donald Trump's diaper rash, which has got to be fucking
Ew.
beautiful. Yeah, ooh. But what is the vibe down there with all that's going on, not only in Florida but throughout the country? Is there any vibe change amongst these Trump-la-fuck idiots? Or are they all still bought in all the way?
'Cause I got a story for you.
Okay.
Publix is our grocery store. It's the
Right.
biggest employer in the state of Florida because 90% of the people they employ are part-time because they don't want to pay any benefits.
Right.
And the grocery industry in itself, you pretty much got your store manager, your assistant manager, some managers, department managers, and a handful of full-time employees, and everybody else is part-time. That's how they get
Right.
away with it. So moving on from that, I went to Costco and I have a T-shirt that says "Fuck Trump, fuck you if you voted for him." I marched in there and wore it, and I got hugs from anybody with brown eyes.
Really?
And
Wow.
I got snarled at twice, and I looked one guy straight in the eye, and I go, "You got the balls to snarl at me in here with these people?" and he turned his back and ran.
You know what?
Well, they are cowards.
Publix is the shittiest grocery store I've ever been to. I'm not
It
gonna
is
lie.
so
It's a
terrible.
piece
And
of
we were-
shit store.
TJ and I were just in Florida. We were there for like 10
Yeah,
days.
I got the fucking measles while I was down there.
You did not. But we did. But they do have like the worst roads ever. Like the roads there are freaking terrible. We drove from Orlando to Sarasota, and the roads were just horrendous.
I-4 is a
Bad
piece of
roads
shit.
or traffic.
No, the roads themselves,
I-4 is a piece of shit.
infrastructure.
Yeah, Florida sucks. It's a shithole.
Well, I'm currently in Georgia, even though I live in Minnesota. We have a place here in Georgia, but I'm in Savannah, which is a very blue town. People
Ooh, it's
couldn't
nice.
be
That's
nicer
a nice
down here.
place.
It's a beautiful, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful place. My wife and I were downtown tonight, and there's always movies being produced here in Savannah, Forrest Gump and tons of others, because they're, the tax thing is good, and it's, beautiful and historic in Savannah. I just got to tell you, we were standing on the riverfront or Riverwalk or whatever they call it, and they're filming a movie down there right now. I don't want to get you too excited, TJ, but what they're filming right now is Roadhouse 2 with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah. And I saw Jake Gyllenhaal. Motherfucker didn't say hi to me though. Of course, I was quite a distance away. So, but yeah, Georgia. When you think about Georgia, you think
He's-
like
he's
Florida,
woke,
South Carolina. I know he's woke. That's why I wanted to talk to him. But he was a little busy doing his fucking movie. So, Jake, if you're listening, call me. We'll have you on the podcast. It'll be
Well,
good for your career.
Adam says something, Mike, that drew back what I saw today in my memories. So Chrissy Nome says she's going to immediately suspend all the visas and permanent residencies for the Somalians, effectively immediately. So they interviewed one, and the lady says, "I've been here for 20 years. I was born in Somalia, but we ended up here." She says, "I don't have any money. I don't know anybody over there. I don't have anywhere to go there. Why are we going back?" You know what I mean? And that's, I don't understand why they have so much hatred for Minnesota. And if you think about this whole fraud thing, it was started by a white lady who's already in prison. She's
I was
already
just about
there.
to say that.
Yeah. So why don't they just leave this thing alone? I don't get
Because
it.
it's like anything else Donald Trump does. He takes one small issue, he exaggerates it, he'll elaborate on it, he'll hype it up to benefit whatever narrative he's going to tell. I mean, the idea that he's upset about fraud when he's been convicted 34 times of fraud, that seems a little hypocritical.
Well, Trucker, it's a talking point for them because they don't have anything else. They don't have anything else. So it's the only thing that Donald Trump can do to distract from the Epstein files. That's all he's got right now.
It's got to be.
Absolutely.
That's part of it.
You would think somebody with a talking point would have their Roman numeral number 1 heading, and then their A subject, and then their 3 details. I mean, to have a talking point, you have to have a conversation. You're talking, but they don't have anything. They don't even have, the best thing they can come up with is the dingleberry. I mean, they're just pathetic.
Well, they make it a talking point because it's something that's already happened, but they want to make it look like it's new, brand new Discovery news. It's old news. It's not. It like was just discussed. 90 people were prosecuted and put into prison over it. It's not. This is not something that's new, but they're making it out. Like all the Trumplefucks think that they just discovered this thing. It's absolutely fucking stupid. If you ask them about it, they're like, they found all the fraud in Minnesota. Well, no, that's old fucking news, motherfucker.
Well, how come
how
we can't find a politician that can say exactly what you just said and then elaborate on it and shut them up?
Because it doesn't
nobody
matter,
does that
one.
either.
It doesn't matter because they don't. The people that we want to shut up don't listen to the whatever news that we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I think they're drafting a strongly worded letter as we speak.
Well,
Not
yeah.
another one. Just punch somebody in the face already. Get on with it.
the other part of that is it's not just about just discovering it or that they've got the talking point. The reason some of the Republicans have latched onto it is because it fits the narrative of all of these aid programs being ripe with fraud. So it fits the narrative of we get to cut that because your life sucks because somebody else is getting a handout from the government.
Right.
It fits that narrative.
Yeah, they're just constantly looking for any little thing where they can expand on it and try to sell whatever the fuck they're selling. I'm going to pull somebody else up here if she comes up. Doesn't look like she is. I'm sorry, that was graceful. I wanted to get her up here, and for whatever reason, it didn't come up. Let's see who else we got here. Okay, let's try this one. And again, fucking god damn it, TikTok. I'm really getting tired of TikTok. I like it because of the functionality of doing these things, but they're always doing something to make life difficult. And I have a feeling that as we get this new owner coming in, it's going to get worse. I'll be here until they kick me.
I think you
Go
can
ahead.
adjust. I think you can adjust mod power so the mods can move guests and things like that. Maybe you could try that.
The
Okay,
invite thing, like sometimes people pop up for us that we can invite.
Yeah, we can. They pop up, but we can't do it. You know what I mean? Because we don't have the power to do it.
Yeah, well, I'll try to figure out a way to do that. That would be a good idea. I'm going to try this one. It says, I am raised Minnesotan and proud. Fellow Minnesotan coming in. How you doing? What's on your mind?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing just fine. So you think, as somebody who grew up in Minnesota, presumably?
No, I'm sorry to correct you. I grew up in Iowa and I moved to Minnesota about 8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think Minnesotans, what you know of Minnesotans, will roll over for this shit, or do you think there'll be a pushback?
Minnesotans and Iowans are pretty close breed. I don't think they'll roll over, but my mind is just going off about like when is the shooting going to start coming the other way?
Well, that's what I'm concerned about too. I mean, it's you can only push people so far, and then it gets to a point where people will just fight back because they've got no other choice.
Yeah, and I feel like our senators are being real silent. I don't hear anything from our other leaders. It's deafening.
Yeah, it is frustrating. This is what I was saying before. You know, you got Tim Walz, who I love, Mayor Fry. I don't live in Minneapolis, so I don't have a lot invested into him. But they're talking tough. But we've been doing this 10 years. The time to talk tough is behind us. The time is to actually do something. We talk about guardrails, we talk about norms, we talk about laws, and there's no reason in the world Donald Trump should be getting away with things he's getting away with, violating the Constitution, yet there seems to be nothing or no one willing or able to stop it. And that's what's getting frustrating.
So we'll talk about hypothetical just for a minute. Let's say he pulls up the National Guard. What does that mean? What does he on do with it? Where does he on go? Is he on protect the churches? Is he on go to government buildings? What?
Well, theoretically, National Guard is brought up to like protect law enforcement, which would be ICE or the police or whatever. I will be honest with you. I don't have a lot of confidence in the Minneapolis Police Department. Having grown up in Minneapolis, we as teenagers in the 70s referred to them as the Goon Squad, and that was a title well earned based on my experiences and my knowledge. I think we're seeing some Minneapolis police officers supporting ICE, which is not what they're supposed to do, but that doesn't matter. That's what's happening.
Well, they're pretty much cut from the same cloth. It's like if you brought in the National Guard or you told the Minneapolis police to arrest ICE, it's like almost like telling them to arrest their golfing buddy.
Right, right, exactly.
And
You know,
so,
some of those ICE members from Minnesota might very well have been former police officers.
oh yeah, I mean you look at the people going into ICE. They're what, failed cops, dropouts out of the military. They're
Proud Boys.
yeah, Proud Boys.
Criminals.
They're the worst.
Yeah, they're
And-
the worst of the worst.
And here they are, like standing right next to them, and just like, where do we go from here?
Yeah, it's very frustrating because we're not dealing with a smart crowd of people. We've talked about this before, that these people committing crimes against humanity, crimes that are violating the Constitution, they think they've got free reign, that they can go fully rogue here. But there will be a day that comes that Donald Trump is not here. There's going to
Right.
be thousands and thousands of lawsuits and potential indictments and arrest. All these people that think they're getting away with just having fun doing what they're
Right.
they're
Well, I
doing,
was thinking,
there's going to be
I
a
wa-
lot paying a price.
I was thinking about this the other day. When this is all over, and these rogue ICE agents that get jammed up, you know, and arrested, they should
Yeah.
be detained in Alligator Alcatraz.
Yep.
I agree. I agree.
That's
Use
where they
those
should be
detention
detained.
camps.
Is that
And
still?
then,
Yeah,
and then they
absolutely.
should all disappear like a lot of the prisoners there.
I don't
Hey,
know
Mike.
that Alligator Alcatraz is still a thing.
It is.
I heard they had to tear it down or stop it or whatever, but who knows? Donald Trump doesn't listen to courts anymore.
I just saw a
Well,
video.
we can put it back up.
We can bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
Go
of
ahead,
getting
Troy.
away, yeah. Speaking of getting away with it, I saw a video today right before I got on your live of a woman who was handcuffed by ICE, and she ran and got away from them, and the first ICE agent fell and broke his shin, and you could hear it crack. Right to the ground. He bounced off the ground, and I said to myself, "Good Lord, this man can't run 2 feet."
Well, I saw a couple of those videos. There was one video that was going around where it was like a security video, and these two ICE officers were getting out of the car. They both fell down. It looked like the fucking Apple Dumpling Gang, and one of their weapons.
That was the greatest.
Yeah, one of the weapons went off, so because they didn't have the safety on. I saw another one where a guy was getting out of the car and he was running over to somewhere to do whatever the fuck he was doing, and there was a guy with a camera right there taking pictures as he's going along, and there was a video too. This guy fell right on his ass, and everybody started laughing.
Hard.
This
Fell
week,
hard.
this week, this weak ass motherfucker got up, ran back to the car, and got the fuck out of there because he's a tough guy.
I love it.
I tell you what, I've lived in Minnesota all my life. I've fell on my ass many times. As recent as a couple of years ago, I get up, dust myself off, and go back to doing business. But these guys cannot take the embarrassment.
The last week or so has been really bad with ICE, but ICE in general, the real ICE.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm very curious of, in that we hear the stories of what's happening at these detention facilities, but that we don't see ever any video. Any
No.
video. What, like, there's not a single person in those buildings that's able to just take a 10-second video. That's the thing that just like blown my mind, that we have so many people with phones, so many people everywhere with phones, and we hear about the misery there, and we don't see it.
Well, they're not letting people in there. Now, members
Oh,
of Congress are supposed to be able to go in there. But here's the thing. We hear members of Congress, some of them getting in, and they tell horror stories when they come out. Okay, thank you for telling us the horror story. But what are you doing to fix it? This should not be happening in this country. We've got to have somebody with some fucking answers and some balls and do something to put pressure. I mean, going to court is one thing. We can do that. But if he doesn't recognize the court or doesn't react to the court, what difference does it make? We still have people suffering. Fucking do something. I don't know what you can do, but I'm not a representative. I'm not a senator. If anybody should know what the fuck to do, it should be you.
Yeah.
And no one has put them on the spot to that degree yet. Somebody has to, and I don't know. I know you're putting their feet to the fire, but and you tell them, by the way, that's your feet on the fire right now. What's your answer? And you don't accept an answer until you get one.
All they're doing right now is saying, "Oh, just vote next November."
Yeah, that's their answer.
That's being a
Well,
coward.
we got to vote them out. We got to vote them out to do this. And I've said this a number of times, and I hope this isn't true. But remember when Donald Trump got elected, nobody asked for a recount. They said, okay, he won. And I get the feeling when it comes to what's going on with Donald Trump since he took office, it's almost to me like the Democrats are saying, well, this is what you voted for. Fuck around and find out. Suffer. It's just going to make it that much easier when the 2026 elections come around. I feel like they're using it as a strategy for winning the elections in the midterms and not paying any regard at all to people who are suffering and dying currently. So this is my frustration with the Democratic Party at this point.
One other thing I want to note, and then I'm going to log off here, is you know those lawyers that quit today, that resigned.
Yeah, the DOJ. The
Yeah.
DOJ, yeah.
I'm bothered with that. That they even resigned. And all these people before them that have resigned in different departments and like, why would you step aside? Why wouldn't you just stay in your department and just fight silently?
Well, there's two reasons I would think they would do it. Because as much as the leadership is violating the Constitution, and there may be some repercussions when Donald Trump is no more, all the people down the line who participated in this could be implicated as well. And sometimes, in addition to that, they will resign just to try to embarrass and hopefully create some people to stop doing what they're doing. I kind of understand how they did it. It's embarrassing for the administration, certainly, but apparently they don't care. But if I'm the rank and file in the DOJ or the FBI, and I'm helping to facilitate these crimes being carried out by the administration and by the leaders, they could technically be implicated all the way down the line. Anybody who participated in this could be indicted.
I understand that. It just feels like they're just gonna put in a Joe Schmo in there to do whatever they want them to do. And
Yeah, no, I understand. It's a catch-22,
Yeah.
and this is where we are, and it's frustrating. It doesn't seem like anything that we want to do can be done because whatever. I mean, I get a kick out of Congress, the Oversight Committee, wanting to subpoena Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, and they're not coming, and they're saying, well, we're going to get them for contempt of Congress. Yeah, where were you with Jim Jordan when he never showed up? There is no power in Congress anymore. Get a subpoena? Well, I don't feel like coming. And why would Bill Clinton come, a former president, if Jim Jordan doesn't even show up? I mean,
Bingo.
what the fuck? What are you going to do?
Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna log off. You guys have a good night. I have to get up early in the morning, so thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We're coming to the end here, and I want to bring up one thing, only because people keep bugging me about it. I've talked about it a couple times on TikTok, and I don't really want to talk about it a lot because I don't know anything yet. If you're on TikTok or any other social media, you've been hearing about this guy, this Sasha Riley, and these audio interviews that have been released. And if you listen, I'm not going to even talk about what's in the audio files. You no doubt have heard it, or if you haven't, you can find it easily enough. But what is being said in those audio recordings is absolutely horrific, literally atrocities. We're talking about abuse, we're talking about death, we're talking about torture. It is absolutely horrific. Now, people are jumping on this bandwagon and they're saying, oh my God, he did this, he did this. And do I think Donald Trump is capable of the things they're saying and everybody else involved? Absolutely. But I need some validation as to whether this is real or not. This is something I see on TikTok all the time. You get this big salacious story, everybody jumps on board, and then they have to back down from it. When I look at situations like this, I try to see the pros, the cons, the holes that might be in this thing. And I'm curious as to what you guys think. There is one hole in what is being said. It is horrific. And if Donald Trump, I've said this too, if Donald Trump and all the people actually did what this guy is saying in these audio recordings, we need to burn the whole fucking country down, fumigate it, and start the fuck over. Honestly, we do need to do that. But here's the one thing. This gentleman who did this audio recording said that he remembered that Jim Jordan was involved. Now, it's not surprising that maybe Jim Jordan was involved in this sort of thing after what he went through at Ohio State. But what he said was that he was 12 years old and he was assaulted by Jim Jordan. And Jim Jordan would have been 19 at the time. That's what he said. So my question is, how does a kid from Ohio, from a blue-collar family at 19, find himself in a circle with the likes of Epstein and Donald Trump and all these people? It just doesn't make sense. And somebody says, well, maybe he was a victim. You know, maybe his parents offered him. Again, you got a mom who was what was she? She had a blue-collar job. Dad worked for the Ford plant or something like that. How does that even happen? It just doesn't match up to me. And if one thing is questionable, I have to take everything with a grain of salt. I'm just curious what you guys think.
Well, okay, so I'm on the same page with you on that. I haven't reported anything about it because I don't know the validity of it, right? And then I think to myself, why would this guy put his son in a situation like that if it's not true? But then he says,
Now, what they will say is that he was a pilot or something and he did work for Epstein. That's what they're saying. But I have no verification of that either.
right. And I wouldn't put my son in a situation like that where I said that I took him there to allow people to do bad things for him. But then he says, well,
But
I'll testify to it in Congress. I don't know.
well, and they said they paid him like $25,000 or whatever, so his family needed the money. I don't know. The whole thing sounds very compelling. It sounds horrific. If it actually, it's one of those rumors that would take down Donald Trump, but I'm hoping against hope it's not true because it is that horrific to imagine
It is, but
those
you
sorts
know
of
what,
things
Mike?
going on.
I understand that it's Sasha Riley, and it's you can't discount the word of a man versus, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't. I mean, it's possible, and
Well, see, that's the fucked up thing about this, Rebecca, is that any other time in history, if somebody said that, they go, oh, that's fucking crazy. But with the people we're dealing with now, Donald Trump and all his administration and his rich friends around him, it's not out of the realm of fucking possibility.
it's not.
So as
It's
crazy
not.
as it is, you got to consider it.
And you're right. We have to take everything with a grain of salt. But I think that the grain of salt shouldn't be larger just because it's not a woman.
Well, actually, I think the fact that it's a young boy, maybe if it's found to be true, sadly will make more waves than if it was a girl. In fact, if you look at that article, what the title of the article was that girls are easy to find, boys are
Well,
tougher.
but the thing is, like, the people that have fetishes for young people, it's not only young girls, and it's horrific because you know for sure you know that there's no way they were just trafficking. If there was money to be made, they weren't just trafficking young girls.
No, the one thing that was said in these audio tapes that I've suggested, and I think this makes sense, is that he said that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't the kingpin. He was like the manager. The actual person in charge was Donald Trump. And that doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility. When we're talking about the kind of money that was going around in this situation and the kind of people that were involved, you can't tell me Donald Trump didn't want to get his
Right,
taste of the
Who,
money.
who was Jeffrey Epstein versus who was Donald Trump?
Well,
Right, exactly.
let me tell you why this makes perfect sense. I'll tell you why it does. Because Donald Trump loves nothing more than to get whatever clout he can with rich, influential people, right? So
Right.
it squares up with his personality that he would be the kingpin of the whole operation so that he could take the credit for providing services to elite people, and then he gets the credit for it. So all of that makes 100% of sense.
Well, and the other thing that Sasha Riley said that can be validated is he said that Donald Trump has this kink that he enjoys to see people suffering. And we know that to be true just based on how he's carried out this first term second term of his presidency.
All narcissists enjoy people suffering. That's what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
it's
I don't know what
element
to
of
think about
control.
this. If this is true, this will take out Donald Trump and a lot of people in this country. If it can be validated, he said he'd take a lie detector test. Nobody's going to give that a lot of credit. You can't bring it into the court of law. He said he'd testify in front of Congress. As I understand it, he's not in this country anymore. I don't know if that's true or not. But I'm interested to see how this plays out. You don't hear anything about it in the mainstream. Now, that could be two reasons, that it's not real or that mainstream media is just doing what they always do and ignore anything that might go against Donald Trump. I'm very confused about this thing. I hate listening to the audio because what they're saying is fucking crazy. Just crazy.
It's sickening, is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you see what the Republicans are doing, the sad thing is it isn't out of the realm of possibility. That's the fucking crazy
we know
thing.
they shut down Grindr just when they meet together. So the fact that they are interested in young boys is definitely not out of the realm of possibility.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're at that point. I'm going to wrap up the Rational Boomer podcast and the TikTok Live. I want to thank TJ the Plumber and Rebecca and Trucker T and Adam and everybody else that joined us on the show. That's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it compelling. So I appreciate you coming in and giving your time to talk about these subjects. I think it's important, and you all have great perspectives.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Appreciate you, Mike.
No problem. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you again soon. For those of you that have listened to the podcast, thank you for taking the time to do that. I hope you have a great day. Of course, we'll talk to you again tomorrow.